Hello, 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 hello. My name is Kelly Martin. I'm a traditionally and independently published author of more than 30 books. I'm also a ghostwriter. That's kind of funny. I write about ghosts and I'm a ghostwriter. And I'm a developmental editor. Let me plug this for a little bit. If you happen to need or want or love to have a developmental editor for your books, you can check out my website, kellymartinbooks.com, and I have a section if you would like to reach out to see if I can do your developmental edits for you. And I promise I can edit better than I can talk. Hi, Priscilla! I'm so glad you're here. Oh my goodness. This is going to be really informal. Part of the reason I do this live more than film and upload is because I don't have a great camera at all. An opportunity has arisen that I might get to have a better camera, but for right now, it's not happening. And I usually film on my phone if I'm going to make a YouTube video, but I have like 2,000 pictures on my phone. So filming takes a while and I don't get to have as much time to say what I want to say. Also, my eyes are hurting, so I'll probably wear these, even though they're dirty, for a while. And yeah, none of that is why you were here. You are here because we are talking about Save the Cat Writes a Novel. This is a book that has been going around YouTube forever. I had not read it until last week, actually. I read it at the beach. I took my girls to the lake, and I have been wanting to read this. I had it on my shelf that it has to be read soon. Did. I have thoughts. This is Save the Cat Writes a Novel, the last book of novel writing you'll ever need, by Jessica Brody, based on the books by Blake Snyder. Now, I don't plan on this being a really long live unless you guys have a lot you want to say about it in the comments, and I have the comments up over here where I can read them. So I'm going to be looking at this as somebody that has written quite a lot of books, and I've written more than I've actually published. I have like 2.5 finished that I've not published yet. So I wanted to look at it from somebody that has written novels before and see if there was anything I could get out of it. I wanted to look at it through maybe a newer writer who this might be their very first writing book. Would this be one that I would recommend for somebody to pick up first? I want to talk about, do I think this is the be-all, end-all book on writing novels? I'm going to put this, I don't want to put it in front of Trinity. I won't put it in front of Trinity Road. That would be sad. But I'm going to put it right there. So we're looking at this. I'm writing notes as I'm going. We're looking at this through a multi-published author, through a newbie author. Would it be one that I would recommend? And I will do a video on some writing books that I recommend later. Also, 10 things that I really liked about it, my thoughts on it. Of course, we'll go over the beat sheet because Save the Cat Writes a Novel. One of the things that a lot of people like about it is, sorry, my hair is always messed up, is the beat sheet. So, yeah. Okay. So, the basic thing about Save the Cat Writes a Novel is it has 15 beats that a novel should have, and what percent of the book they should cover. Because some books can be 60,000 words, some books can be 100,000 words. My friend Casey just wrote a book, and I think it's 120,000 words. That's a lot of words. That's a whole lot of words. So I did like that part in this, that she made it fit with your genre because she broke it down into percents instead of word counts. And then she gives examples of the word counts of certain books. Whoop. And then the estimated page count. So I did like that. I couldn't find the date that this came out. If you happen to know, I know it came after 2005, but if you happen to know, what year this came out in, if you can put it in the comments, I would appreciate it, because I think that has to do, it's in the back. I'm used to it being in the front, 2018, so it's not terribly old, which is great. So this wasn't even out when I started writing, so that's good. That probably is why I didn't read it back then. So this is just kind of general advice. Look at any book that you want to pick up for any kind of advice, any blog post, any YouTube video, anything like that. Look at the date of when it was published, because things change, especially if it's a marketing book, and especially if it's anything to do with publishing, because it changes so much. Look at the date. So the Cat Writes novel came out in 2018. Okay, so the big thing that it has is a 15 beats a novel should have. And we shall get to that part. It's on page 22. There's a whole big section on why you should do this. And then we have saving the cat. Okay. And it's broke down into 3 different acts. Here are the 15. Opening image, theme stated, setup, catalyst, debate. Then you go to act 2, break into 2, B story, fun and games, midpoint, bad guy closes in, all is lost, dark night of the soul. Then you have act 3, break into 3, finale, and final image. And then it has this breakdown of where they should be when you put it in the book. Hi, Tiffany. I'm really glad you're here. Thanks for subscribing, too. I appreciate that a whole lot. I've been trying to get to 1,000 subscribers for we won't talk about how long. So, in theory, I liked the book. In theory. Okay, let me tell you some more about it. It also has 10 genres to fit any story, which I thought was very interesting. It gave a description, the 3 essential ingredients in the genre, popular novels that use the genre, in-depth book breakdown in the genre, and a cat's eye view or the summary of the book in that genre. And I will admit, I didn't completely read all those. I always read the cat's eye view, but I didn't do the in-depth breakdown, especially if I hadn't ever read the book. Didn't see a point to it. Try to do this a little bit. Okay. So that was actually my favorite part of the book. Let's go with, whodunit. Whodunit is a genre in this book. Detective, deception, and dark side. Then it tells you a little bit about it. Then it has the 3 things. The 3 things that the essential ingredients of a whodunit novel: the detective, the secret, and the dark turn. I actually really, really love that in, say, The Cat Writes a Novel. And it has it with all 10 types. It has a general breakdown of what each genre needs. Oh, that was real. I've never seen it broke down like that before. And if you look here, those are all the books I have on writing. So I've read a few and have never seen it broken down like that, which I appreciate. Then it has popular whodunit novels, and then this one is The Girl on the Train. It has a long thing where it breaks up the whole story, and then really long, and then it has a cat's eye view where it just kind of gives a summary of it. And then it has why is it a whodunit, and then it tells who the detective was, who the secret was, and what the dark turn was. Loved it. Absolutely love that part of this book. If it was just over genres, if this entire book had nothing to do with Save the Cat and it was all about the 10 genres to fit any story, I'd be like, yeah, this is probably the greatest book I've ever read. However, the part that sells it, the Save the Cat Writes the Novel beat sheet, wasn't exactly my favorite. Now, we'll preface this by saying I am, especially in my early years, I was more of a pantser than a plotter. Recently, I have become more of a plotter, more than I was anyway. I actually kind of like it. But I've never sat down. Actually, I have. That is a lie. I have sat down before and got beat sheets. And they were based on Save the Cat Writes the Novel, and tried to sit down and write out a story or plan a book based on them. And I have a hard time with it. And it could just be me. It could just be me. Personally, I don't like the outline here. I don't like the story beats. I don't like how they're broken up. And maybe that's why I don't have as successful books that are in here. That's possible too. But I don't. One of the issues I have is it seems overwhelming to me. The entire thing of having to use a beat sheet, especially if I'd never written a novel before and I was relying on the beat sheet and I was trying to plan out my book, I would be so nervous. I think I would give up, to be honest. Okay. All the talking around in circles, I think that's my biggest issue with this. And in a lot of writing books, period. I've read the Anatomy of a Story? The John Truby book. I liked that one, and it had 22 parts of a story. The one thing that I think is difficult about any type of writing book is it sounds like that if you don't write your story that way, then it's not going to be successful, or that it doesn't need to be written, or that you've done it wrong. And I think it's good to know the rules of writing a story. But one of the good things about knowing the rules is knowing when you know the rules, you can break the rules. So, while this is a good setup, I don't know if I do know. It's not for everybody. I will say that. If I had read this first, I probably wouldn't have written a book. That's my 100% main issue with it is and it's just this first part. It's the first section before they get into the genres. Where is it? Well, here it is. Okay. This part right here, it's about this big. is the entirety of the Save the Cat beat sheet in the book. The rest of it is it's talking about genres, and it's breaking down popular books into the genres and into the beats, which is good. I like that it gives examples. I still think it's overwhelming. That's my big issue with it, is how overwhelming I think it is. I do think that it's an easier read than Anatomy of a Story by John Truby. 100% think it's much easier to read than that. I think the examples are better. I think I think the way it's put together is better. I would like to read the Save the Cat for screenwriters and see if it's any different. The sad thing is when you know the Save the Cat beats and you read it books or you watch movies, you're like, yeah, I can see where all that is. I watched a movie called Love and Monsters the other day, and it has Dylan O'Brien in it. It's a really good movie, but it seems like it follows Save the Cat to the T. You can see where it's broken down into each section, which is fine. And maybe it's because I know what this is, and I know that, it's not as, what am I trying to say? It's not as much of a surprise when a person comes 30% in and is like, hey, I'm going to help you, when, they're there to help. That's the B story. 22%. 22% when a new character comes in with a B story, introduction of a new character or characters who will ultimately serve to help the hero learn the theme. Also referred to the helper character. This can be a love interest, a nemesis, a mentor, a family member, or a friend. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's good to know. I'm just so afraid that it will deter somebody from writing. I'm so afraid that somebody will pick up this book or any writing book and be like, okay, this is how you write a book, and then try to write the book and it not go like this says it will, and then you give up. And I don't want anybody to give up on their books. That's my main point here. If I had to choose a book that I've read so far, I have some more that I want to read, I would pick, Save the Cat Writes novel. Not for the beat sheet, though, at all, but for the genre breakdown. Love it. I love the 3 essentials of the genre. I'm going to use that in books that I'm writing, and I've written over 40. I am going to use those sections. Watch me next time try to use the beat sheet. Priscilla said Anatomy of a Story was difficult. It was rough. I enjoyed it, but it was rough. And if you've never seen The Godfather, Anatomy of a Story really was difficult. At least this one had used books that I had actually heard of, at least in movie form. So at least we had that going. Also, I like the popular novels. I like the Cat's Eye View. I think anything that didn't seem overwhelming, I loved. I love the little breakdown nuggets, the bite-sized recaps. I liked that. Everything that kind of stretched the book out, I wasn't a fan of. I did not like the beat sheet, which is the whole point of it. I need to do a video sometime of me trying, and I might like it. I might be hating it. I do that sometimes. Have you ever not wanted to watch a TV show because you're like, I will absolutely hate it, I don't want to even start it, and then you watch it and you're like, this is the greatest thing I've ever watched in my life? That's how I think it might happen if I try to do the Save the Cat beat sheet. I might be like, what was I saying? And then I'll have to make another video on how I'm going to have to eat crow because it really worked. But right now, just based on the book and my own experiences, which is all we can do so far, the actual beat sheet is the worst part of the book. And everything else, the genres were great. If you need to pick up a novel on writing books, I would pick this one up, but definitely 100% with a grain of salt. I have it on my computer, actually. I think I have it on an Excel. I had downloaded it. I had it, and I was trying to fill it out, and I couldn't do it. It worried me. I have a hard time writing a book if I know how it's going to end anyway. I write from the very first word to the very last word. I write like I'm watching a movie. So when I try to outline that, it didn't work. Like I was getting so just stressed. Be like, okay, well, this needs to happen then, and this needs to happen in another part, and 20% of it needs to happen, and there needs to be 30% of fun and games, but like 20% to 50% are supposed to be fun and games. Well, not everything's fun and games, and this needs to happen, and this and I got so overwhelmed. I had to not. I had to not. And that'll be my if I ever write a book on how to write, it will be I could not. I couldn't do what they told me to do. When Priscilla first saw the Save the Cat beat sheet, she was intimidated by all the white space in Act 2. Yes, Act 2 is scary. Act 2, where is it? Oh, that was a weird noise, wasn't it? I gotta find it. Okay. Act 2 is the break into 2, the B story, the fun and games, which is 30%. The midpoint, which of course is 50%. The bad guys close in. All is lost, and the dark night of the soul. And that's all in Act 2. That's overwhelming. It's overwhelming for me. Tiffany, I don't like a lot of how-to writing books because they do make it seem as if you don't follow exactly your own story won't go anywhere. Yep, I agree. I know it works, obviously, because there's so many books that follow the same pattern. But I also wonder, and I don't know this. I wonder how much, I'm not going to say it. Yes, I am. I wonder how much the authors of the books in here went by the Save the Cat method, went by a beat sheet like Save the Cat, or if it just worked out that way. Like if, I don't know, Daniel Defoe, who wrote Robinson Crusoe, was he like, I'm going to do this, and this to be in this order, so it will fit this beat sheet, or did it just work out that way? I would like to know, honestly. Angie Thomas is around, who wrote The Hate You Give. I would like to ask her, did she use the Save the Cat method? Because in here, it tells everything that, well, this is misery in this section. And then it goes into everything that happened in misery to fit each section, which is great. Personally, I think it would be easier to go back and look at books. Like, I think if I took Trinity Row and went back and filled out a beat sheet, I think I could do it. But starting at the beginning and going to the end sounds just terrifying. But I think I might someday, just to see if I could do it. Maybe. Anyway, I've been talking for almost 30 minutes, but the main part of this is, if I was as somebody that has published a lot of books, this was intimidating to me. When I read Anatomy of a Story, it wasn't as intimidating for some reason as this. Maybe I was in a different headspace. I don't know. But I liked everything in it but the beat sheet. So that says a lot. If you're looking for genres, if you're looking for different ingredients in a genre, and it can be any genre in any genre. Let me find it. Because it was the best part of the book. Personally, I think. I wish I'd marked it. Okay. 10 genres of fit, even any story, yes, even yours. And it's the why done it, the rite of passage, the institutionalized superhero, dude with a problem, full triumphant, buddy love, out of the bottle, golden fleece, and monster in the house. So I love that part of it. And it has about bleeding genres, and it has setup and everything that goes with the story. And make sure you include 3 essential ingredients. I love it. I love that part. I will be using that part. If you like genres, if you want to do that part, if you're interested in it, pick up Save the Cat. If you think I want to write an amazing book, I have to follow the Save the Cat method. You don't. You really don't. There's much easier ways to write a book. I think the bell curve would be easier to write. Or like the mountain, where it's like beginning and then rise in action, climax, fall. I think that's easier than this. But I might try to outline my next book using the Save the Cat method. See if it works. I don't know. Thank you so much for being here today. Those are my thoughts on Save the Cat Writes a Novel, as discombobulated as they were. Yeah, it could have been a video. It would probably have been better as a video, but if you weren't on here when I first started, I don't have a great camera, and I use my phone, and my phone's about full. So, and I wanted to talk to you guys about things, not just me talking to you, but about things, especially Save the Cat. I'm glad I read it. Now I can say I read it. I can say that I did like parts of it, except for the beat sheet. Who knows? Or who knew? So, yeah. Definitely read it if you're curious, but don't think that you have to do it like it said, and don't get overwhelmed, especially if it's your first book. And with that, I'm going to leave you for the night. What writing book should I read next? Leave a comment and I will pick it up, see what I can do. Maybe we'll have another video, another live, another something. And thanks, Priscilla. I'm so glad you got to be here. And you too, Tiffany. Thank you so much. And everybody who watches this later, I appreciate it. I will, more than you know. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. So I'm off to write. I have deadlines to hit. I hope you hit all of your deadlines. I hope you pick up Save the Cat, even if it's just to say you read Save the Cat. Take it with a grain of salt. And I will see you later. Bye.